So what's the inner child? The inner child is you and I essence, our original natural operating system. Be careful with this. Every time we put a concept such as inner child, be aware that we're using it as a reference, but it's not a concept. If we look at it as a concept, we are categorizing it. And every time we do that, we're labeling it, we need to go back to the past and it's referencing something we learned from somebody. When we do that, we are creating separation because we're entertaining time, space. And when we do that, it becomes an illusion because then it becomes something that happens in the past. So, no, the inner child is you and I essence and most natural, powerful, original operating system. That's what it is. Now, why is so important? The inner child is so important because that natural operating system is constantly calling us to look at it, to look at our soul, our heart is calling us so we get to know ourselves. And what happened is that we came with some information. Yes, some of that information is very dense because of the DNA we received from our ancestor is loaded of fear, violence, which is the experience, part of the experience in this dimension. So that information that we carry, that we got here with, can be dense. And when we come here, as soon as we arrive, we start experiencing that, experiencing hostility, experiencing fear. It could be not the fear that you and I feel, but the fear of our parents. For instance, our parents are fearful that something can happen to us, so they put vaccines on us. Our parents are fearful that if you run too fast, you might fall, and then they start oppressing your natural um behavior. And on that, they start telling you you should not cry, you should be always happy because they are fearful. Then we go forward and then, oh, you gotta work hard, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta do this, and you must deserve it. And all those indoctrinating lines uh, are based on fear. And they are what we came here to experience. But what is crucial to understand and why is this so important is because that every time a shock comes to us, our nervous system, our subconscious mind, to protect us, shut down or contract. Yes, and and in order to continue surviving, it shut down, contract, and then it creates a different coping mechanism. And this happens a lot of times. So there is start creating different coping mechanisms which becomes in layers, and people call it the hard wall. And these layers exist because at the moment we didn't know how to experience them. So we stop the emotion, the energy in motion. So it becomes stagnant emotion inside of us. And all that stagnant emotion is literally exactly as all the files or all the apps you can open in your phone. You open apps, and all of them are consuming energy because all of them are alive, all of them are open. So all these files that happen, all these shocking moments that happen that we didn't let them experience, but that we stop them. Energy in motion, yes, it's energy in motion, emotions, shocking emotions. Even if we think it's shocking because we were conditioned to think that something is right or wrong. That's duality. But for the universe, that doesn't exist. So the information we carry here, whatever it is, I know it can be a very shocking event, very dramatic event, but let's understand that for the universe, that event is not shocking. It's just an event that creates an emotion that we need to experience to see ourselves. Once we experience that emotion, that shock event, and we relate with it by letting it move through us. That emotion, we gotta let it move, but because we contract, we close and we block that emotion. So that stagnant emotion is inside of us. And we have plenty of them, like, as I said before, like a phone with a bunch of apps open, or a computer with many software opens at the same time, consuming energy. So what is important for us to do, and why the inner child becomes important, what people call the inner child work, which is nothing else than the call of our soul that is happening. Exists the inner child, and we relate to the inner child is because most of them happen between 0 and 7 years old. Most of the shocking events happen between 0 and 7 years old. Why? Because every time we receive a shocking event, the first events we receive, they become our operating system. So every time we receive something similar, we go back to that operating system to deal with that, and we do the same coping mechanism over and over again. And if we don't, if we keep shutting down, if we keep blocking that emotion, then the event will get louder to talk to us. So we finally go and meet our most powerful version, which is what people call the inner child, our original operating system. So think about this. If I shock you one and over again, like a shock doctrine, what happens is that every time you're shocked, you shut down and you create a new coping mechanism, a new pattern to behave, a new behavioral pattern. And then you shock again, and then you create a new behavioral pattern. And in that way, you start creating layer after layer, and you become so anti-natural that you don't even remember what it's like to be natural. And this is what's happening to all of us. We live in a completely anti-natural society. Completely. To the point that at this point we have normalized to be sick. Sickness such as stress, anxiety, has become normal even for kids. That when you go to schools and you ask kids how you doing, most of them only talk about stress, anxiety, depression. They have become natural, and we think this is natural. Same poverty, lackness, scarcity, all that is anti-natural. Our natural original operating system is fearless, abundant, life abundantly. And the inner child keeps calling. And if we understand this concept, let me correct that. If we understand this state, that's why the Bible says only the children will come to heaven. It's talking about that. It's talking about the original operating system, which is the one we arrive with. So all these files that we have, those shocking unresolved emotions, that energy emotion that is stagnant in ourselves, keeps calling us, and we keep going back, and we, even though we don't know, we feel this, and we know we feel it sometime before. And when we start going deep and deep, we're gonna go back to those 0 to 7 years old, and we're gonna find out that that's where we experience those things. Is that important? No, it's not important. You don't need the inner child. Is just a concept. It's just an illusion. So do we need to go back and talk about the inner child? No, you can do it right now, because your inner child, you are the inner child, you are the original operating system. You are right now. The only thing is that it's blocked by a lot of curtains. It's just a matter of start moving curtains. It's like going to the jungle and start moving like this. And a way to do it, how to go back to your natural state, which we can is the inner child, what people call the original state. How you do that is literally, a way to do it is going back to things that you love and allow yourself, giving yourself permission to connect with it, and sitting down and doing imagination workouts or guided meditation regarding reconnecting with your inner child, because we are so disconnected. We are so disconnected from it that we need those stimulus. Those are stimulus. We are so disconnected that we lost sensitivity. We are so disconnected from our natural state that we look not to feel. We look for not to feel. Imagine how far we are. When you look at a kid and they just feel, they're natural. Feeling is natural. For us, it's anti-natural. So, how to reconnect with your original state, the inner child, is a matter of allowing yourself, give yourself permission to feel, and be brave enough and honest enough with yourself to feel. And feeling means, because this is another important thing, because we are so anti-natural right now. We sometimes don't even know how to feel. Why? Because when a feeling comes, we want to label it, and the moment we label it, we stop the experience. Because in order for us to make sense of it, we gotta go to the past and say, oh, this is sadness, and I get that. And then when I come here, sadness, the experience is being gone. The wave is gone. It's a wave. Remember, emotions are like waves. So the inner child is crucial. What people call, you're going back to your original state. The inner child is the original operating system. Why is it important? Because that memory, that feeling that you got, can bring you back to your original system, back to zero, and then from there start creating a completely unknown life, because we don't know what we're capable from right now, and how to do it. It's a matter of being brave enough to feel, and being conscious and observe, and repeat it, avoiding stopping the emotion by labeling it. Where can happen, it happens all the time. You don't need to do it. Like, that's another important thing that I would like to share is, you don't need to put a goal of, I'm gonna clean my inner child. Your inner child is there, over there. It's not separation. You don't need to call it inner child. It's just your natural operating system. Your natural operating system is the main thing of your natural operating system is to feel. So to reconnect with your inner child, you need to feel. Allow yourself. You need to give permission to yourself to feel. Well, you don't need, but there is no need of anything, but is to be aware of your sensitivity, and how has been blocked and blocked and blocked over and over and over again, to this point where we are really anti-natural. So if you have any other questions, you let me know. If you like it, that's great. There is a reason why you're here listening to this, so just observe what you feel. If you like it and it's positive, you think it's positive for somebody else, do please share it. I do have on my website, on the link, about information on understanding the inner child, and I have an imagination workout and the price is really less than a coffee, less than a coffee. So I would suggest you to go for it. It's just to play with it. And if you have any question, do please let me know. Thank you.